Video 37, Evaluation versus Research, the Distinction Area 4 CHES Subcompetencies 4.1.1. Review the learning objectives for this video. Welcome to Area 4. I am so glad you are here, and I want you to know that this area is one where your understanding will really start to deepen. Let us begin with the most fundamental distinction you need to master for your certification exam, and that is the difference between evaluation and research. Now, these two are related, but they serve very different purposes, and once you see the difference clearly, you will never confuse them again. Evaluation is the systematic assessment of a specific program to determine whether it is meeting its goals. The purpose is practical. You want to know if your program is working, and if not, what should change. Evaluation findings apply to that particular program in that particular setting. They are not meant to be generalized to other populations or contexts. The primary audience for evaluation results is the program stakeholders, funders, and decision makers. Now here is the key thing about research. Research is designed to generate new, generalizable knowledge that contributes to the broader scientific literature. Research tests hypotheses, follows rigorous designs, and aims to produce findings that can be applied beyond the specific study setting. The audience for research is typically the scientific community, accessed through peer-reviewed publications and conferences. One critical practical difference that you will want to remember involves the Institutional Review Board, or IRB. Research involving human subjects almost always requires IRB review and approval because it involves the creation of generalizable knowledge. Program evaluation, on the other hand, may not require full IRB review, although many organizations still submit evaluations for ethical review as a best practice. Here's a helpful way to think about it on your exam. If a question describes a project focused on improving a local program, that is evaluation. If a question describes a project focused on testing a theory or producing generalizable findings, that is research. Keep this distinction clear because it is tested frequently and you are building a strong foundation right now by learning it well. Now let us move to one of the most important frameworks you will encounter in your exam preparation and honestly in your career as well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention developed a widely used framework for program evaluation in public health. This framework has 6 steps and 4 sets of standards, and it is one of the most frequently tested models in Area 4. I want to walk you through each step so it really sticks with you. Step 1 is to engage stakeholders. Before you design any evaluation, you must identify and involve the people who care about the program and its results. This includes program staff, participants, funders, community members, and decision makers. Step 2 is to describe the program. You need a clear, detailed description of the program, including its mission, objectives, activities, resources, and context. This is where the logic model becomes essential, and we will cover that in the next video. Step 3 is to focus the evaluation design. Here you determine which questions the evaluation will answer, what type of evaluation is most appropriate, and what methods you will use to collect data. Step 4 is to gather credible evidence. This involves selecting indicators, choosing data sources, determining sample sizes, and collecting both quantitative and qualitative data. Credibility depends on the quality and quantity of evidence gathered. Step 5 is to justify conclusions. You analyze the data, interpret findings, and draw conclusions based on agreed upon values and standards. And step 6 is to ensure use and share lessons learned. This is such an important step, and I really want to emphasize it. The most common failure in evaluation practice is completing an evaluation and then filing the report away without acting on the findings. This final step ensures that results actually inform program improvements and are communicated to relevant audiences. I want you to remember these 6 steps in order. The exam may ask you to identify which step is being described in a scenario or to determine which step comes next in an evaluation process. You are doing great keeping all of this straight, and it will serve you well. Now let us round out your understanding of the CDC framework with the 4 standards that guide evaluation quality. These standards were originally developed by the Joint Committee on Standards for Educational Evaluation and have been adopted across public health practice. The first standard is utility. An evaluation must serve the practical information needs of its intended users. If nobody will use the findings, the evaluation has no utility regardless of how well designed it is. Think of it this way. Your evaluation needs to matter to someone who can act on it. The second standard is feasibility. The evaluation design must be realistic, prudent, diplomatic, and cost-effective. An overly ambitious evaluation plan that cannot be implemented within budget and time constraints fails the feasibility standard. You want a design that is doable with the resources you have. The third standard is propriety. The evaluation must be conducted in an ethical and legal manner, with due regard for the rights and welfare of those involved. This includes protecting participant confidentiality, obtaining informed consent when appropriate, and ensuring that the evaluation process does not harm participants. The fourth standard is accuracy. The evaluation must reveal and convey technically adequate information about the features that determine the worth or merit of the program. This means using valid and reliable measures, appropriate analysis methods, and sound reasoning. Now here is why this matters to you personally on the exam. You may see a scenario describing a problematic evaluation and be asked to identify which standard is being violated. For example, if an evaluation costs twice the program budget, that violates feasibility. If findings are never shared with decision makers, that violates utility. A helpful way to remember these is the acronym UFPA, or you can think of it as useful, feasible, proper, and accurate. You have covered a lot of ground in this video, and I am proud of the progress you are making. These frameworks will come up again and again, and each time you revisit them, they will feel more natural. Read the scenario stem aloud. Give students 30 seconds to consider options before advancing. The correct answer is B. The Health Educators Project is evaluation because its purpose is to assess and improve a specific local program. The University Colleagues Project is research because it tests a program model across multiple sites to produce generalizable findings for publication. The key distinction is purpose and generalizability, not the type of data collected. Both projects collect health data, but their intent differs fundamentally. Option A incorrectly focuses on data type rather than purpose. Option C incorrectly classifies both as research simply because data are collected. Option D reverses the classifications entirely. Summarize the key takeaways.